They're hunting for Russians. The Ukrainian military blitz is so fast, the Russians can't flee quickly enough. Several have already been found hiding in these abandoned and bombed buildings. The clean-up task force has its work cut out for them. In every dark room, behind every door and in every corner, there's potential danger. And nowhere is safe right now. They're wary of a frightened army, which may have left behind some deadly surprises. The Ukrainians are going through all this destruction and all these villages to try and find Russians who've been left behind, but also any booby traps that might have been left here. Everyone is questioned. Often they've hidden their documents. They can be a lifesaver when everyone is viewed with suspicion. But in the back gardens and fields, the scars and terror of war linger like ghastly statues. They're not sure it's detonated yet, and any wrong move could be catastrophic. The battle has moved on, but the terrors of war remain. The Russian troops turfed residents out of their homes to set up their bases. This was one of them, but they seem to do little fighting.
Алкашню, можно сказать. Ну, вони вояки ніякі. Їм, понимаєте? Ну, правда, кое що вони ворували, не без того. Ну, а що ти вояки скажеш? Ну, ніхера ти мене скажеш.
And every home they've taken over is like this. A chaotic scene of troops who lived in squalor. They took over flats and they commandeered apartments. All the signs point to an ill-disciplined group. We found human feces on this carpet floor and they fled in a panic. More bottles of alcohol. Looks like they left in a real hurry. Still some patties on the pan. And they apparently abandoned colleagues who weren't quick enough.
Хто заблудився, в кого навігації нема. І попадають прямо до нас в руки. Їм діватися нема куди, в лісі холодно. Їсти хочуть.
The Russians abandoned vehicles and so much more.
They left quickly, but a lot of weapons, they stay here. A lot of weapons.
They left behind.
Yes, anti-tank weapon.
And the level of destruction is quite staggering.
Всюди, де є Росія, всюди все зруйновано. Всюди. Не тільки б'ють по цьому, плюс ракети ще б'ють по мирному.
The bombardment left a trail of death and fear, especially for elderly residents like Tatiana. It's left every living thing terrified. She and her neighbours buried her husband outside their home as the shelling continued around them. Part of her died when she lost her soulmate.
Я була на 20 кілограм більше. У мене діабет. І тому це вам не передати, як переживав і щас боїмося.
And there are claims of war crimes too. Galina takes us to where her sister and nephew died, killed, she says, by Russian soldiers. She's looking for what remains of their possessions. This is my nephew's shoe, she says. And my sister's slipper. They were travelling in an ambulance. Her nephew was badly hurt, and witnesses say the Russians fired on them when they failed to stop. That's all that's left of them, she says. What happened next is unclear, but her relatives and the driver were buried together where the Russians were camping. Witnesses say there was an explosion, and we found vehicle remnants nearby. Galina's consumed with sorrow.
Це не люди, які убили. Вона муки в житті не обідала. За що їй така смерть? Я не знаю. Хай горить в пеклі, той гад, який це все зробив.
The torment of what's happened here will last long after the troops have left. Alex Crawford, Sky News in Yampol, East Ukraine.